Got an article here from comicbook.com. Halo report reveals early info on the next game in the series. This is from Logan Moore. Jesus,
I'm dealing with a thing here. It's a whole thing.
A lot of dogs. A lot of dog action. A new details on the future of the Halo series at Xbox have come about from a notable leaker. Following the launch of Halo Infinite back in 2021, questions have continued to linger when it comes to what's next for Xbox's flagship franchise. Generally speaking, Infinite didn't reach the heights that Xbox and developer 343 Industries hoped it would, which has since led to a change in direction for the first-person shooter IP. Now, some early insight into upcoming Halo plans for Halo have emerged, and they aren't necessarily encouraging. In an extensive thread from @BathrobeCast on X, formerly Twitter, new information about Halo and what has been happening behind the scenes at 343 has been revealed. The report claims that after Halo Infinite's launch, many developers ended up leaving 343 Industries. While this is normal to some degree, the voluntary departures have been combined with layoffs and contractors not being converted to full employees. As a result, 343 is said to have slimmed down to a team that's less than 300 people in total, the majority of which is said to consist of team members tied to business aspects of the company. As for the next Halo game, it's said that 2 entries in the series are in the works right now. Both games are still very early in development and are merely in pre-production, with one seemingly being tied to PvP gameplay. The other is assumed to be a new mainline Halo installment of some sort that could take place after the events of Halo Infinite. However, this project still seems to be incredibly far off, as 343 is retooling its development and production methods.
Okay, so the interesting thing about this to me is the potential 2 different games that are coming from this. One being PvP/multiplayer focused, and then the other hopefully just kind of being single player focused and then breaking off and just separating those 2 things entirely. I think that's a good idea. I think that allows the 2 different teams to be detached from each other mechanically and to actually diversify single player versus multiplayer ideas and so forth. I think this will probably lead to the death of the single player campaign in Halo, or will allow us to do more than just a 3-4-3 game and have Halo diversify into different genres and stuff like that, which would be cool as well. I'm fairly certain the next game is not going to be a Halo Infinite sequel. From how the streets have been talking, the rumors and speculations, it seems like a Halo Combat Evolved remake is on the way, which
I don't know
at
all.
Huh?
I think you had the Master Chief Collection, which was such a perfect package of being able to reinvent those original games while also being able to play it in their original form. I don't see the point in spending a bunch of resources on a remake like that. There's so many other
could actually make Halo 1 the great game that people say it is.
Well, they technically did already.
I mean, they didn't.
By the remake of they already did the remake.
No, they didn't. That's a remaster, Connor. They just texture work. It's the same fucking video game.
Oh, yeah. Still, that's all they need to do. We don't need a remake.
I mean, I lean to you. I lean towards your feeling. I'm not feeling the need for a Halo 1 remake either. But, if they make some of those level designs a little bit better, make the story more concise and more consistent with what the franchise is, and have gameplay that is modern, I'd be interested to see what that is. Just as like as a separate experience, not as a full package type thing. And then the interesting thing is what would that PvP thing become? It's interesting that the article doesn't mention that a large majority of the single player team got laid off. So that's really what the team where a lot of those numbers went away. But of course there have been departures as well on top of that. I don't know. It's Halo's in a weird place. I personally feel Halo constantly chasing modern stylings is what's hurting it. I mean, you look at Doom and what Doom's been doing. Doom's been operating fine, doing what Doom does, not doing what other modern first-person shooters are doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Halo should be taking that same type of direction as well, where they go, all right, everybody likes the first 3 to 4 games if you include Reach, Yeah. Everybody likes those games. Let's just do that. Like, let's stop with the sprinting. Let's stop with the custom loadouts. Let's stop with all the battle royales and game passes and what is the other thing they do? Season passes and stuff like that. Like, let's harken back to why people like Halo multiplayer, and it's for tight-knit gameplay.
And that makes all the more sense when you look at Infinite's multiplayer. I don't think there has been, in the multiplayer space, a bigger failure and drop than Halo Infinite. I mean, you had all of this momentum behind
100% disagree.
No, I totally agree with that. I totally
you said
stand behind that.
Yeah.
Its reason is because they had a base of players that they caught with Infinite's fun gameplay, particularly the online, was very fun. But after about 2 years, you look at that game and very little changed of substantial worth. You're
right on that, Elliott.
Yeah. And that's the problem, is that's what people expect with a multiplayer game. And when you come in with one that has a nice base to it, but then you do nothing to build on top of it, they lost all their momentum. And no one really talks about Halo Infinite being the big PvP game. And it's not because the game itself didn't function well as one.
No, it's a very well-made game. It's very good.
And I don't think they've proven themselves in the PvP arena yet. And so I think having a game on its own just be entirely PvP can allow you to have a roadmap, do some of the things you were saying. Because I saw you made a post on Twitter a while ago about how the lack of a sprint was intentional in the past, and it worked within the confines of the game and the flow of the game. That's absolutely true. I think if you were to try and go back to that, you can get some of that.
Sprints also didn't exist in those first couple Halo games. By the time you get to Halo 3, it did, but they still don't have it for a reason.
I'm thinking more of Halo 3 because I think that was, at least this is my bias coming into play, was one of the biggest multiplayer Halo experiences. And part of that might be just getting the old gameplay of Halo back in the flow of things.
Yeah.
And this is the best chance for them to do it. But, it's such a divestment from what they usually have done with Halo. Ever since 2001, it might not pay off. But I hope it does, because I would like it to have, a tighter campaign, because I wasn't a big fan of Infinites. I think, once again, in all of the veins of sprinting, loadouts, and whatnot, they said, hey, open world games, those are big, and they did that.
Stop.
And Halo
Don't do that.
Work with it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
I'll say it after, I had no interest to go back into that game because the plot wasn't engaging enough, and it's set in a world where you have to go long distances of,
nothing.
Yeah. Whereas in Halo,
I didn't dislike the choices made in Infinite gameplay wise. I thought it was cool and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an empty world, but it was cool not having loading screens, and driving to the level.
That's true.
And type stuff. So that stuff was cool, but I just don't think it works for Halo. I think Halo needs to. I'm not someone who typically says go back to the old stuff. I'm usually like, let's evolve, let's change it, let's do something new. But Halo, I kind of feel like you should kind of go back to the old stuff. Make choices. Give yourself a unique identity, and your identity is rooted in the past, and that's fine. Take some notes from Doom. What is Doom known for? High-paced or very fast-paced, high-quality first-person shooting, lots of enemies, big guns, and intricate level designs.
Yeah.
Doom 16 and Doom Eternal are based around that. Intricate level designs, fast-paced combat, and lots of enemies, lots of glowing orbs and stuff like that. They just stuck to what worked in the past but evolved it and brought it forward instead of diversifying what makes you and turning it into something that it isn't.
Yeah.
Even though I love that, I've pretty much enjoyed, with the exception of 5, I've enjoyed every 343 Halo entry.
So have I. From the ones I played, I didn't play 5. I skipped that one. 4.
Good multiplayer.
Infinite. Yeah, that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Which, to your multiplayer point and the sprinting point, one of the cool things that made Halo 3 so much better than a lot of the other Halo multiplayers is it would force you to fight. In Infinite, with the sprint, I very often get into a combat scenario with somebody, and I like to stick fights out to the end. I think that's the most fun. The game, forcing you to engage and get all dirty and gritty with fighting somebody. In Halo Infinite, I would find getting into fights, and if they would get injured to a certain point and they could run away, they would run away. And with the sprint, I feel like they could do that more efficiently. In Halo 3, I recall whenever I would try to ditch from a fight, I would maybe get a little bit of breather when I turned around a corner, but since I'm only walking, any long distance I would have to go, any even medium distance to go, I could just easily get caught with my health half down, still recharging, and the guy comes around the corner and can shoot me. And I feel like I died a lot more when I tried to run away.
Yeah.
Whereas Infinite seems like it kind of rewarded me. Like, hey, you ran away, so you live to fight another day. But it made those, it made things a lot less hectic. It's not really a big mark on Infinite's multiplayer because it still was very good
I don't have
with
that
that
problem.
sprint. But I think it's inferior when you compare it to not having it.
I disagree entirely that sprint is a necessary component of first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't think it's a necessary thing. I think if you base your general combat loop, your level design, and just your overall game design around the idea of you have a sprint or not, you can make a game totally fine with that. Do I think those old Halo games play slowly and probably movement speed needs to be a little faster? Yeah, it probably needs to be a little faster. Do I think sprint is the solution to that? No. I think just player walk speed is the solution to that.
Yeah.
On top of that, but like also on top of that, things like Halo 5 had a clamber, and Infinite has it too, right? Where you clamber up a ledge if you don't quite make the jump.
Yeah.
Those things I like. Those things are fine. Let's keep that. I just don't think Halo needs sprint.
Yeah, it's very core to, I think, what could make the game more fresh. And set it apart from all the other ones.
Yeah.
You run and gun.
Yeah. Unique weapons, specific weapons, level design, map design, vehicle design, like just there's a reason modes. There's a reason 1, 2, and 3 are still held as the prime Halo games, even though debatably they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, Halo Infinite is the best playing Halo game ever. But it's not the best Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because it lost its identity.
Get back to your roots, baby.
Get back to it, and you'll find success in there again. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And also, I mean, you haven't tried going back from sprint.
You have not.
You know,
you've only just continued to do it.
The direction you've been going isn't working, so maybe go back. You know, when you're lost, Connor, do you just do you just double down and say, no, I'm going to dive deeper into being lost?
No.
Or do you go back and find, okay, wait, no. I lost it when I turned on third. That's when I got confused. So let me go back there and see if I can find where we go right. Exactly. You know, that's how life works. I miss Halo. You want to play some Infinite tonight?
No. But, it's still nice.
Coward.
I have to download games. I don't have that much
You don't have
space.
Infinite? First of all, why do you not have more space on your thing?
Because I have a lot of games downloaded.
What games do you have downloaded? What do you have downloaded?
Substantial enough. And also, things suck nowadays where everything's like 100 gigabytes.
That's very true.
98 gigabytes.
That's very true.
Like
I've talked about, I think I've said it in the group chats. I'm thinking about playing Black Ops 6, but I'm not excited to download 350 gigabytes of bullshit, you know?
At that point, you should just get like an external hard drive and just have it all on there.
This is the Call of Duty hard drive.
Pull it out when you need it.
Listen, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, I've got the USB ports for it.
So do I. If I did, I'd probably do that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the USB ports. I have the USB for it. Wait.
Well, yeah, but I have the extra.
Dock.
I got the dock.
Yeah, I don't have that.
You should get yourself one of those.
I should.
They're very handy. They're very nice. They're very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Two Penny Games cast, episode 208. Make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and let us know what you thought about all the topics we discussed today, something we may have missed, or just general evergreen topics down below so that we can have a audience Two Pennies conversation happening next week. And until next time, have a great time. Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye and stay safe.